I don't really even like fighting, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah, I'm just good at it.
What don't you like about it?
I don't like the politics behind it. I don't like the martial art aspect that's been taken away from it. I don't like the disrespect to the sport. Guys that are you're not really training hard. They don't look the part. I think professional athletes should look a certain way. I really just don't like the youth, this generation of fighters that watch and move on TV, on YouTube, and they go and they try to do it. They don't want to drill repetitiously. They don't want to actually put in the work.
But why does that affect you, though?
It affects me because our sport is also the fans, and the fans actually culture who gets to fight. And if a guy's gonna talk enough shit and start wearing fly suits, then this day and age, that's good enough for a title shot. And I think that's disrespectful to everybody that came before. That remember that you had to go 10-0, then you get the fucking call from the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
If Conor won Artem Lobov in the UFC at a 500 record, he's gonna be in the UFC. And I just, it's ways that the sport is taking the love out of it. But I just find a way in dominating my opponents, taking all their tools away from them. You know, Dean, Thomas, shout out to them, and Duke Rufus are fucking masterminds. So I take pride in that, take pride in going in there, not getting hit, dominating, knocking people out, whatever.
Right, but when
whatever
you say
it
you
takes.
don't like fighting, you like all those things. You don't like what other people are doing.
I love training. I don't like what the sport has become.
So this is an interesting thing to talk about because a lot of people have different points of view on that. On one hand, a lot of people like the traditional martial arts approach of respect for your opponent and just fighting to the best of your abilities and letting the chips fall where they may. Whereas other people say, well, listen, to get people to show up, to get asses in seats, to get pay-per-view buys, there's got to be some drama and some entertainment value to it. And that's where someone like Conor comes into play.
Conor's the only one that's done it, though.
Yeah, well, Ronda a little bit.
Ronda did it a little bit. Conor's done it the best, but he actually puts in the work.
Right. Chael Sonnen before him.
Chael Sonnen did, but he didn't. His mouth was louder. He's actually probably the best at it. He's better than Conor at it. Conor's very close, but Conor actually delivers on more of what he said he's going to do than Chael did.
I would agree.
So if you got to think of anybody who's brought both worlds together best, I would have to say Conor. He knocks a lot of guys out, try to call the round. He's only lost a few fights total. And even those fights, it was risk match reward. Fighting a guy, switched opponent, different weight class. He's taking those risk and rewards that if you lose, it's not really that big of a deal. Nobody's going to really, oh my God, drop him down to the bottom of the pack. But these other guys that haven't done it, don't have the skills, ain't put in the work, I mean, they can kind of really just...
Well, you see the trend, right? There is a trend right now.
Be good at it at
being
least, though.
Incredibly disrespectful, very rude, and you saw what happened with Colby Covington, and
at least
Fabrizio Verdum hits him with a boomerang.
You know what I mean? And now he's pressing charges. I mean, that dude's a queef.
Well, there's
Coward Queefington.
There's a lot of attention being placed on him, though. I mean, it's slightly effective.
Let me see how much attention is being placed on him.
But it is effective in the moment, right? I mean, you don't want to go look at his stuff.
It's effective in the moment. I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes
because people like drama.
Sometimes our sports is like, nothing going on. It's like, fuck, well, this kid's talking shit. Let me listen to him.
Right.
And there, at that point, Conor wasn't around. Ronda wasn't around. John wasn't around. Who has UFC really projected as a star?
Right.
Sage Northcutt had a few bumps. Paige Van Zandt had a few bumps. They're trying to push up Ngannou. But what star did they have? So now if you got this person that's willing to go crazy, even though we know it's WWE and the person's really not getting slammed, we want to live in that moment anyway. We want to go for the villain. Mm-hmm. But who has he really beat beyond Damian Maia? What was the other top 15 victory?
Well, the Damian Maia was a big one, but that was the big one.
But
that was the one.
But he was unmotivated, and he was a guy that already had his title shots, and he's getting up there in age. What is really his motivation? I wrote the book on how to beat Damian Maia, and he didn't even read the book. He just skimmed through it because no part of the book said let the jiu-jitsu guy fuck you up and bloody your face. Kobe Covington did that by himself. I didn't do that. Even with my right arm being messed up. So I'm just looking like how many even followers do he have?
Yeah,
he
didn't have a big following before that. That was his biggest fight. That was the big coming out.
I don't want to discredit him. Damian Maia is a G. I don't want to discredit Kobe, but for me, have some people on your resume. Have some. I didn't be Tarek Saffiedine, Paul Daly, Jordan Min. This is before I even got in the UFC. My first fight was Jay Heron, who had only been stopped by Georges St. Pierre. lost one fight to Ben Askren that was close, and had won every fight after that. So I never had an easy fight. All my guys was either former champions or former contenders or former, people that were interim champions. And when you got a list like that, you still don't get the respect. Koscheck, Condit.
Why are you saying you don't get the respect? From who? From him? From Colby?
Oh my God, I can care less.
What do you saying you don't get the respect? You definitely get respect.
Watch this. When you think of Robbie Lawler,
okay,
Carlos Condit, right?
Right.
They're in a different category. Now, is it weird to you that I'm the champion and I beat both of those guys?
Wait a minute. What do you mean by a different category?
I see them in a category, and this might just be me. Okay. I see them as in the category as if you're talking about guys that are going to enter the Hall of Fame, right? And you think about, Josh Koscheck and Carlos Condit and Robbie Lawler and, this guy and Anderson Silva and all those different guys. But it's funny that I've defeated these guys.
Wait a minute. You're crazy. You're talking crazy.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, you're definitely talking crazy. You're the champ. You're the current champ. You're acting like people don't respect you as the champ.
They respect the people I've defeated more.
And you think that people think like that Carlos Condit gets more respect or Robbie Lawler gets more? That's crazy.
Carlos Condit gets more respect than me. Robbie Lawler gets more respect than me.
But from who though?
For sure. Even guys that I defeated, like Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson don't get more respect than me. I'm not gonna say that, but people are willing to be like, oh my God, tell them. Dana said, tell them to get in the cage with Tyrone Woodley. He didn't say, hey, Tyron, tell them to get in the cage with Stephen Thompson on the 7-fight win streak, knocking everybody the fuck out with a really super weird style that took me months and a fortune, bringing all these fucking crazy taekwondo, Raymond Daniels, all these, the best of the best to train him, to beat him.
Right.
Like, nobody gave me that pass. Like, if you see
I don't know why you concentrate on that.
I don't.
That seems, but you are, because you're talking about it.
I'm not concentrating on it.
You need to call me when you have these nutty thoughts.
I'm telling you,
I'm going to talk you through this shit. You're the fucking champ.
I'm telling you.
This is all nonsense. This is wasted energy.
When you think about, and it doesn't matter to me because my path is pretty clear. What I want to do, I want to be the best. I want to be the best welterweight of all time.
Reigning, defending, undisputed UFC welterweight champion.
We in 2007 when that was the shit.
But it is the shit. Why it's just in the middle of it. You're in the middle of it.
Why is Conor and Nate fighting super fights that are bigger than a world title fight?
Because people don't know you as much. They don't know you as much yet. And look, Conor is a weird enigma. And whatever reason why that guy caught fire the way he did, it's a weird combination of personality, results, skill. There's a lot of, and Ireland. Ireland's a big factor. I mean, if Conor was from Nebraska, I guarantee you this shit wouldn't have happened the way that way. Too. It's not just a big fight country. The loyalty and the love that those people have for the people that fight from Ireland, there's nothing like that. Yeah. It's a weird anomaly. So he's just this weird aberration, and he gives people almost like false hope of what's possible. Yeah. Because I don't know if it's possible with a lot of people. It's lightning in a bottle. For whatever reason, it worked with him.
But he started it himself, and then what happened?
Yeah.
Here come the jumper cables. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
UFC put the machine behind him, right?
They definitely put the machine behind him, but without the machine behind him, there was giant hordes of people flying in from Ireland. I remember some of his earlier fights, I was like, and I was commenting on it, I was saying, this is a guy who was on the undercard, and they're acting like this is the main event of a pay-per-view. They've flown from Ireland. The audience is filled with thousands of people that flew from Ireland. That's what he's
fighting Brimage and Rendell and those guys.
Even back then, it was insane. When he fought,
I didn't know him back then. You know what's funny? Somebody, my old striking coach, was like, Conor McGregor is this huge star, and I'm like, that's when he had first got in the UFC, and I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck this kid is. He was trying to convince me, no, he's a superstar, he's a da-da-da-da. And then every time I get a chance, I said, you were right. He wasn't then, but this motherfucker ended up being a superstar. And he loves to get that credit because at that moment, I think I was getting ready to fight Dong Hyun Kim, and he kept talking about this Conor McGregor. So I said, let me look at this motherfucker. Let me look him up because you obviously got a boner for this dude. And I looked him up. I'm like, all right, he's good. I get it. But let me see him beat a couple people. And then if he can beat Dustin Poirier, then I'm gonna give him his props.
Knocked out Dustin Poirier.
Dustin Poirier. Yeah. I said, all right.
Well, he's 100% legit.
Yeah, he's legit. Yeah.
But it's what else is going on that's so weird. Yeah. He's not just legit. He's also this unbelievable personality. Like, people are drawn to him. Yeah. That's no one can manufacture that.
Yeah,
so like
he's rehearsed it. He's practiced it. He's looked in the mirror. He has natural wit. He's willing to go risky and say some below the belt shit. And he does his research. He don't come to a press conference just smoking you like the front row of a comedy show. He's looking into some deep shit. And when you get there, you kind of stumble. So you're right. He has that. He also has a fight style. He also has so happened to do 80% of shit he says he's going to do, so now he's the fucking messiah.
Right, but you can't say that the UFC has not gotten behind you or people don't give you the respect that you deserve. That's why you're not in the same level as him.
I didn't say that, Joe.
But you said that him and Conor, or that Conor and Nate are fighting these super fights.
I'm saying that he has gotten that. And I'm saying that he has gotten that, and he has lived up to what he said he's going to do. And on top of that, you gotta be able to fight. And he can fight, and he's been able to talk. So now, not only can he generate the pay-per-view buys to get people interested, he's actually going to deliver a knockout against Jose Aldo, a stoppage against Eddie Alvarez, and a crazy, back-to-back fights with Nate Diaz.
But don't you think that you're in an unusual situation? First of all, because you win the title by spectacular first-round knockout against Robbie Lawler, right? Unbelievable knockout. But then you have the most awkward and difficult guy to defend your title against. I mean, Wonderboy Thompson is a very unusual opponent, and it's hard to look good against him. And out of all the people that fought him, you're the only guy that put him in danger not once but twice. And the way you fought him, I've defended the way you fought him many times because I say, look, if you look at tactically, if you look at technique, and you look at the art of fighting, that's the way to fight him. If you're a guy like Tyrone Woodley, a powerful puncher who's a great wrestler, who's got one-punch knockout ability, you're not going to open yourself up to Wonderboy.
You're not going to rush him either.
Exactly. Don't get picked apart. You're not going to fight him the way he wants to fight. What you did is you laid back a lot, and people booed a lot because of that. But when you connected, you were the one that hurt him. In those two fights, he was the one that was in big trouble in both of those fights. Not you.
It was his fight was not for me. I'm never I got the same thing in the Maya fight, but at the end of the day, if someone's attempting to take you down multiple times, over 20 times, it's very hard to get in any type of exchange. Every time you swing, they want to go underneath and try to take you down.
Well, the Maya fight was tough too because of your injury, but you got to go back and look at like Anderson Silva's dark days. There was a dark days when Anderson Silva fought Damian Maia, where nobody wanted to have anything to do with him after that fight. And Anderson Silva fought when he fought. There was several fights where he had just boring results, and people weren't interested in him fighting anymore. One spectacular knockout, and everybody's back on board again.
Well, people one spectacular knockout to get the belt, and then everybody slowly forget about it moments later. Because at the time, Stephen Thompson said, "No, I'd rather fight Robbie, and I think he's gonna win anyway." And da 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 da. And then he think I'm supposed to be just so graciously like, "Oh, let's fight in honor." And no, you want to fight Robbie, right? You said Robbie was going to win. You said you personally prefer to fight Robbie because I've been waiting around, even though that wasn't the case. So you said this stuff. So don't think that I'm just going to give you my spotlight and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. No. If I'm seeing the table being set, I know there's Nate Diaz is out there, Nick Diaz is out there, George St. Pierre's, Michael Bisping's, guys that have that name, they have that status that I'm trying to get to. Those are the guys I want to fight. I want to knock those guys down because now I can continually inch myself up. Fighting him, well, he's trying to get the same thing I'm trying to get. Why the hell am I going to pull you up with me?
Right.
If that's the fight they wanted me to fight, now, number one, they never offered me the fight. He said something. Then I think the UFC thought I wasn't take the fights. The first time they offered me the fight, I accepted it. So when all these people like, oh my God, you don't want to fight, trying to pick his fights, he just got the belt. I'm like, but
you listen to too many people, man. You listen. I'm talking about. But there's too many people saying things that you're responding to that are irrelevant.
I think it's the people that are in the organization. I gotta,
Okay, you're dealing with people that I don't deal with then in that regard. But as far as like people that are analysts and experts,
as far as like the social media, like I really don't read social media.
Good.
Like, I post because I want to post and I leave it alone. So
that's smart.
When I say that, I'm not saying, without saying who it is, I'm not saying that the fans are making me feel some type of way. Because my path is clear. I want to be the greatest welterweight of all time.
Right.
Whatever it takes. When I get an opportunity, I'm trying to knock you out. Okay. At all times. Stephen Thompson is a different type of fight, as you said before. Look what happened when Robert Whitaker rushed in. Look what happened when this guy rushed in. Those guys, that's what
people forget he KO'd Whitaker.
They forget all this shit. And they also realize how tough it is to take him down against the cage. Remember how fast he pops up. So why not give myself 31 foot that if I want to double leg him, I got the whole place to stretch across and blast him out. He don't have one punch KO power. So even if my back is against the octagon, when I go for a shot, I got the whole entire octagon to take him down versus pressing him, go for the takedown. Him and the cage are both defending my shot, and then him trying to, do some razzle-dazzle kick. So I have no issue with the way I fought him or Damian Maia.
I don't think there's another way to fight him.
Yeah,
unless
look
you're
what
another
George
elite.
Masvidal did. He didn't take Maia serious. He didn't train the way. He didn't bring in the top jiu-jitsu guys. Like, it's easy to spar and kick box and look good and never have to take a shot. The way I train, I put myself in positions I know I'm never going to be in. You're never going to take me down. You're never going to have my back. I'm never going to be mounted. But I'm training that shit anyway, just in case I slip on a banana peel, I get clipped with a punch. So George Masvidal, just from the way I watched him fight, he was surprised. Even the stuff that Stephen Thompson hit me with never surprised me. I got hit with it. He landed some good shots. He's really quick. I mean, I'm fast and explosive, but he's quick. Those punches get to you fast. He's long. And when you start bouncing, you don't even know what the hell he's going to do. And it's kind of like, what are you about to do? What are you about to do? You can watch his performance and tell he didn't do the proper work. Same thing with Damian Maia. He trained with Kobe, like, try to take me down. I'm going to stop the shot and just knock you out. That's not how it works. You got to bring in guys that know his half guard, how he hooks an ankle, how he sweeps, how he switches from one side to the other. What happens when he grab around your waist? If you give him his back, this is how you're going to lock up. I train with guys that train with him and the guys that are better than Damian Maia on the mat. That way, when I got out there, had he taken me down, I would have been prepared to escape, get away, get back to my feet.
Do you think that having a chip on your shoulder in some way helps you? Like all these people that doubt you, in some way you have to prove yourself. It gives you a little extra fuel.
I just know that I'm the best. Like, me and Dean was training one day, and I stopped practice, and I had a brain fart, and I just started thinking about Georges St. Pierre, and I started thinking about all his skills, and I started thinking about Robbie and all the top welterweights. And I said, I'm the fucking best in the world. Nobody's faster than me. Nobody's stronger than me. Nobody works as hard as I do. Nobody has all the skills, the striking, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, the defense, the timing, the explosion, the toughness. I've been in wars. I've been in close fights. I've been in fights where I knock people out. I've been in it all. So when I decided that I'm the best, I started carrying myself as if I was already the champion. And that's why I had champ camp before I even had the belt.
And when was this around? Like which fight?
Robbie. Right before Robbie.
So right before Robbie.
Yeah, I was supposed to. No, Champ Camp actually was supposed to start with Johnny, but Johnny had some complications, didn't make it to the scale. So they told me I was fighting Robbie.
Yeah, I remember talking to you backstage one day at one of the weigh-ins, and you were frustrated, and you were like, "When the fuck am I getting my title shot?"
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We know the game changes, and sometimes they want to see fights play out before they make a call. They never want to be on the line saying you are definitely getting the title shot.
Right.
They've done that a couple of times, and we've seen what happened. Right.
And they pulled out of it.
So I fought Kelvin Gastelum. And Kelvin Gastelum was supposed to be this conditioning freak, and he missed weight by 10 pounds. And for me, I don't play that shit. Don't act like you were so sick. No, you didn't make weight. And what happens when you don't make weight? You actually didn't have to go through and suck your body all the way down to scratch weight like I did. So you should actually look better. So I don't want to be like, oh, he was sick and that's why. No, he had a chance. He just is never going to beat me. I fought him. He was the one that was huffing and puffing. He couldn't hit me. He couldn't land any significant punch. I landed. And after that fight, it was some scrutiny on the fight. I'm like, okay, you want me to grapple with him so he can try to take my back and do a rear naked choke like he did to everybody else? You want me to exchange with him and let him get into the fight when I know I'm faster, I know I'm sharper, he can't hit me, I got better defense? The whole time he's pushing me against the cage, I heard his coach say, no, don't go there. He was terrified that the Koscheck thing was going to happen to him. So he backed up every time he pushed me to the octagon. Why wouldn't I play on that? You know what I mean? So when people look at that, said that he was going to get a title shot. I don't know if you remember that. They said if Kelvin Gastelum would beat Tyrone, he's going to get a title shot.
I don't remember people saying that.
Yeah,
they were saying that, but they weren't saying that about you.
Dana White said it.
They didn't say that if you beat him.
Dana White said if Kelvin Gastelum beats Tyrone, he's getting the title shot. Remember, he had already been selected for the coach. He got the coaching job off the loss after missing weight by 10 pounds, and then they told me he would never fight at 185 again if I took the fight. 170 again if I took the fight. So he lost to me, missed weight, still got the tough coaching job, and on top of that, he was going to get a title shot had he beaten me.
But why do you? So you again, it comes to this chip on your shoulder thing. You feel like everybody's against you.
No,
you do a little.
I don't.
A
I know
little.
you want me to though.
No, you do. This is what you're saying. It's the things that you're saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I know the deck of cards I got, and I know how to play these deck of cards.
Well, what do you think the deck of cards is?
The deck of cards is going to come a moment when I'm a superstar. And when I get to that moment, I have more leverage. At this time, I'm not at the point where Conor McGregor's at. So if I gotta fight the #1 contender, and I can't vouch out to fight a George St. Pierre or Bisping or a Conor or Nate at this moment, I'm gonna keep whipping ass until I get to that point.
Well, after George is beaten right now, George is in an amazing position, right?
Yeah.
George beats Bisping. If he wanted to, and he dropped the title, but if he wanted to come back and fight you for the welterweight title, that's a legitimate super fight right there. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
You think George
particularly
wanna fight
coming
me?
off of his big fight? You don't think he does? Look, you tell me.
You think George want to fight
Look
me?
at your face.